Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're exploring one of the most famous, ancient, and honestly, profoundly mysterious landscapes on our entire planet. But we're looking at it through a completely different lens. We're going to dive into a fascinating Vedic, Karmic, and Esoteric reading of the Appalachian Mountains. Now, if you've ever hiked these trails, or honestly even just heard the countless folklore stories that surround them, you know for a fact there's a really distinct energy there. But today, we aren't just talking about geology. We're actually breaking down the energetic identity of this region using some incredibly ancient astrological frameworks.
So let's just jump right in with a question that might actually send a little shiver down your spine. Have you ever been deep in the woods of the Appalachians and, well, felt the eerie, mystical presence of these mountains seemingly paying attention to you? Seriously, so many visitors report this profound, undeniable sensation that the environment itself is totally aware. And to understand why this happens, we really have to look past the surface and examine the invisible forces at play.
But to ground this mystery in physical reality first, we absolutely have to acknowledge the raw, immense age of the Appalachian Mountains. To put it into perspective, they are over 480 million years old. They're literally among the oldest mountain ranges on Earth. I mean, they existed before animals even walked on land. When we're dealing with a landscape this unbelievably ancient, the energy that has had time to settle into the bedrock is just profound, it's dense, and it's deeply layered.
All right, moving into Section 1, the soul of ancient mountains.
Okay, so in Vedic astrology, a place actually has an energetic identity that's ruled by planetary archetypes. And because the Appalachians are just so ancient, their core dominant archetype is known as Shani Rahu. Now, Shani is the Vedic name for Saturn, which represents heavy antiquity, extreme slowness, and the really deep karmic memory of the Earth. Rahu, on the other hand, represents the shadow, liminal zones, and unexplained mysteries. Put them together and they create a landscape defined as the mountain that guards what does not want to be revealed, which honestly perfectly encapsulates that feeling of ancient secrets just buried under thick Appalachian fog, right?
To really break this down a bit further, we actually have four primary planetary archetypes active right beneath the surface here. First, you have Saturn, which acts as the ultimate guardian of stability and pre-human memory. Then you have Rahu, bringing those thick mists, the mysterious disappearances, and all the rich, dark folklore the region is so famous for. Then there's Ketu, acting as a kind of portal, creating an environment of deep retreat and total isolation. And finally, Mars. This represents the primordial fire, the ancient volcanic origins, and the residual telluric, or underground activity that literally still pulses through the rock today.
Which brings us to Section 2, the dominant stellar frequencies.
Now, if we want to understand how the mountain literally speaks, we have to look at specific stellar frequencies called Nakshatras. First up, we have Uttara Ashada, which is the sun energy of the victorious. This brings a vibe of absolute resistance, meaning these are places that survive everything, just tightly holding on to ancestral memory. Then, we have Shravana, symbolized by the divine ear. And guys, this is exactly why the mountains feel like they're paying attention to you. These are lunar zones that literally listen, and they're known for weird acoustic anomalies and deep connections to native chants and rituals. Finally, there's Thanishta, the drum, driven by Mars. This is the telluric rhythm, the literal underground vibrations and zones of natural magnetic resonance. So the mountain doesn't just sit there, it records, it listens, and it beats like a drum.
Let's move on to Section 3, the karma of the territory.
You know, just like a person has karma, a landscape does too. And here we can see a really profound contrast shaping the entire Appalachian experience. On one hand, you have this heavy, slow Saturnian karma. This is exactly why time seems to basically stand still in certain deep hollows of the Appalachians. It's an energy of incredibly long cycles and the safeguarding of pre-human memories. But on the flip side, Rahu karma injects the eerie and the unknown into the mix. We're talking unexplained phenomena, the heavy fogs, the dark folklore, and these natural, energetic portals that lead to stories of disappearances. It is a constant push and pull between eternal stillness and mysterious, unexplained activity. And we can't forget the specific influence of Ketu karma. Ketu is all about the energy of letting go and turning completely inward. When that manifests in a landscape, it creates extreme isolation. This perfectly explains the deep-rooted reality of closed, fiercely traditional Appalachian communities. It creates environments that naturally just reject the noise of the outside world, making them the absolute perfect places for deep spiritual practices, archaic traditions, and profound inner retreat.
All right, Section 4, the magnetic spine.
Now, it's one thing to talk about energy in this abstract way, right? But it's a whole other thing to see it mapped out geographically. In this reading, the Appalachians act as the primary magnetic spine of North America. The Shawnee Node, our Saturnian guardian of ancient memory, is anchored right in the Blue Ridge and Great Smoky Mountains, which makes sense because that's home to some of the most ancient sedimented rock on the continent. The Rahu Node, where mystery and the shadow totally rule, maps perfectly to the areas of West Virginia and Kentucky, regions that are globally famous for their rich, dark folklore. And the Ketu Node, the portal of isolation, perfectly aligns with the deep pockets of North Carolina and Tennessee, which have historically been zones of profound spiritual retreat.
Because of all these intersecting nodes, the mountains generate a physical phenomenon that is intensely powerful. It creates a massive, strong natural magnetic field that amplifies meditation, trance, and subtle perception. This is exactly why that sensation of a presence we talked about at the very beginning is so incredibly tangible. The magnetic resonance of the territory is physically interacting with the human nervous system, naturally amplifying our own subtle perceptions. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Finally, Section 5. When the energy awakens.
Here's the kicker though. This energy isn't static. It actually breathes based on cosmic timing, which we call energetic transits. For example, when the planet Saturn transits through the Nakshatras of Shavana or Dhanishta, the territory actually experiences a re-emergence of deep memories and a huge spike in spiritual intensity. When Rahu transits specific stars like Ashwini or Kripika, those mysterious zones we talked about in West Virginia and Kentucky get activated. The veil between normal reality and the unknown literally becomes incredibly thin. And when Mars enters Makara or Kumbha, the actual physical telluric vibrations of the Earth increase, raising the physical energy of the entire region.
So bringing all of these threads together gives us a completely revolutionized way to view this landscape. This final esoteric interpretation unifies three core functions. The Appalachians are not just hills and trees, guys. They are a karmic archive of the Earth, literally storing hundreds of millions of years of memory. They're an energetic resonance chamber, listening and beating like a giant drum. And they are a portal of introspection, forcing literally anyone who enters to confront the depths of their own isolation.
It completely shifts how you view your next hike, doesn't it? These mountains are a living, incredibly ancient system of energy, guarding secrets they really don't want to reveal, yet naturally amplifying the subtle perceptions of anyone who knows how to listen. Which leaves us with one final, deeply personal question to consider. If you step into the ancient, liminal portal of the Appalachians, what forgotten memories will you awaken? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you walk away seeing the natural world around us with a bit more wonder and mystery. Catch you next time.